Folks, good morning and welcome to the Contrarian Trader. The purpose of this video is to date stamp my call on the U.S. stock markets. At current, the date is Tuesday, January the 16th, 2018, 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. At current, we have the Dow futures that are up at 26,044.0. That's a change of 243 points in the pre-market. The S&P 500 is at current in the pre-market at 2802.25. That's a change of 13.50 in terms of point performance this morning. The purpose of this video is to date stamp my call that I believe that within the next several trading days, we will have seen a top in the U.S. stock markets and we will begin to open up short positions. Now, I am perfectly aware that this is going to be a very, very unpopular call on the markets, but it is my belief that on a technical and macroeconomic basis, that this current bull run is simply unsustainable. And it is ripe for a reaction, and that reaction will be to the downside. For those of you who are not familiar with my work, on December the 12th, 2017, I made a call on gold, and at that point in time, I predicted that we had seen a bottom in the price of gold. Let's go to the chart. This is a daily chart. This was the 12th. We put in a low of 1,238.30 on that day. Since that point in time, you could see that we have rallied up to a high of 1,340. And how did I know it was the bottom in gold? It's because the market was sending us signals technically and on a macroeconomic basis. Another one of my recent calls was the bearish video I put out, and it's posted on my blog and on StockTwits. And it was my bearish call on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I posted it on January the 15th, 2018. And let's take a look at those charts right now. The first chart up here is a chart of Bitcoin. And when I spoke about it yesterday, being January the 15th, I warned that if we broke down below this support level here at the 13,000 level, and when I discussed the technical analysis, and again, you could always go back and take a look at that video, I said that if we made a new daily low versus the low seen on the 15th of January 2018, you should stop out of your position, because in all probability, we would take out these support levels here. And if we broke down below, and more critically, closed below this support level right here, there would be an air pocket that opens up and would need to be filled, and the price of Bitcoin would take you down to the 9,205 level, which would be a significant drop from where we are trading right now at current, not to mention where I first became bearish on Bitcoin on the 15th. So this is a massive drop. We are breaking support levels, and I think that we are heading lower on Bitcoin. And it's worthy to begin this video talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum because it's one of the indicators, an indicator of cheap money and speculation that signals a top in the stock market. And you may be saying, Bob, Bitcoin is not a stock. What does one have to do with the other? What each has to do with the other is that they're being pumped higher on cheap money. And that cheap money, which has been fueling the bull run in Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, the stock market, is beginning to dry up, as noted by the rise in interest rates and inflation, as noted by the collapse of the US dollar. Let's check out Ethereum. Here's where we were on the 15th of January, trading at a low of 1,267.01 on Ethereum. And I said I was even more bearish on Ethereum than what I was on Bitcoin, because on a weekly basis, we were just so extremely overbought relative to the 3 standard deviation Bollinger Band, as well as the RSI, which is very, very overbought. And I predicted that we would see a continuation pullback back to the daily chart and a defense of this support level here at or around the 1083.97 level. And guess what? I was wrong. It was so weak, it just smashed right through it like a hot knife through butter. Now, the day's trade isn't over yet. It could rally back and close back above this level, but I am not getting the warm and fuzzies with regard to the cryptocurrencies. Now, for the purposes of memorializing this video, the last trading day was January the 12th, 2018. We had a 3-day weekend, the Martin Luther King holiday. Today will be the first trading day since January the 12th. Last week, we closed on the Dow Jones at 2,803.19. In the pre-markets, we are up over 26,000. Now, just to make clear, I will not be jumping in with both feet to the short side today. But what I will be doing is tightening up my trailing stop loss orders on long positions, allowing the markets to move as high as they'd like to go, and having my stop triggered as close to that high as possible before we begin to see the sell-off. And while in the pre-market, we are trading above the 26,000 level on the Dow futures and above the 2,802.75 level on the S&P futures, I do not believe that we are going to close out the year above these levels. So that's my call on the markets, folks. I'm going to be posting this on third-party sites, YouTube, StockTwits, Twitter, Seeking Alpha. And in the coming days, I will be discussing with members how we plan on shorting the U.S. stock markets. And the operative word that I will be using as we short these markets is that while the charts show that the path of least resistance is no doubt to the upside, I will point out using the charts and technical analysis that the trajectory of the U.S. stock markets is simply unsustainable. And I rarely use this word because I think it's abused, but I do believe now that we are in a bubble in the U.S. stock markets. So while I'm not calling an immediate top in the markets, I am simply saying I do not believe that they will close out the year above the Dow level of 2,060.48 and on the S&P above 2802. So in the coming days, I'm going to send out to members the logic of as to why I believe that we are in a bubble and the threats that are poised to prick this bubble. 2, I will review how we screen for the best vehicle to short the U.S. stock markets. 3, how do we plan on building positions? And when do we admit that we are wrong? So more to come. And please, if nothing else, raise your stops. Let the markets take you out. And that's my call this day, Tuesday, the 16th of January, 2018. Everybody have a profitable day, and I'll be talking with you soon.